Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today, wherever you are in this great world. We're gonna talk about XRP, and I gotta start with this. So Uphold sparks fresh prediction of XRP soaring 6,069% to $35. So taking the X, Uphold engaged its audience by asking, by the end of the year, what will the XRP price be? Inviting them to fill in the blank. Remember I showed you that just a couple of days ago. Well, it seems that most of the people in the XRP community are projecting XRP to reach $35 by the end of this year. I think that could possibly happen, but we're going to have to watch what happens along the way. When does XRP start to have a run up? Is the DXY still falling? Is the Fed still lowering interest rates? What's the outcome of the 2024 election? A lot of real world events can play a factor in crypto, but I do believe $35 is possible. David Schwartz, be ready for the shakeout in the future. Take a listen to this.
There's just even more than just a couple main players because of how many industries it touches on.
Yeah, I think there might be a shakeout at some point in the future, but I think right now nobody knows what technology is the best or even what the right problems to focus on are. So there's not only a diversity of solutions, but there's, as you point out, like a diversity of problems.
So think about that. Now, that was back in 2023 when David said that. And Brad even said expect more shakeouts or black swans to happen along the way. But think about where we are right now in 2024. This is almost a year later. Look what's going on with the regulations. I think regulations will be the biggest shakeout that happens inside of crypto, because a lot of cryptocurrencies will disappear. A lot of people will be scrambling to get their money out. And at the same time, we're going to have exchanges going down because of, all the traffic on the exchange as well. But this could happen at any moment. And that's what I always try to prepare you for. Now, when it comes to XRP, after the shakeout and after the dust settles, that's when these ISO cryptocurrencies are really going to start to shine. That's what will come next, like a rise of the phoenix. As a bridge currency, CBDC to XRP to CBDC from Ripple's website, it's not made up. You can look it up. Breaking old news. Now, this is where I showed you where XRP can be inside of massive liquidity pools. And I always said XRP being locked away for long periods of time inside liquidity pools is where I see the real value coming from. Not so much all the transactions happening. Well, here's David Schwartz once again from back in 2023 talking about massive liquidity pools. Take a listen.
Like, people are still not using cryptocurrencies for payments. Like, let's be honest, like that's where the product market fit is really good, and they're not, there's a lot of volatility, which I think is, and I think we do think that like that's going to start to go away. Like, the logic of economics says it has to. Like, you can't really have a highly volatile asset just because there's volatility is a profit opportunity, and so somebody should be turning that volatility into revenue. We have massive pools of liquidity now, like, the trade volumes are enormous. So I think we are set up for the next couple of years. I think one sign is like giants like Bank of America, JP Morgan are starting to, you have to be careful with them because they want to seem like they're on the forefront of technology, but also they're very successful companies. So like if they could push stop on technology, they would. Like if you have one of the top 5 banks in the world, you don't want anything to change. You want the world to stay exactly the way it is. And most of your hyping of technology is going to be defensive. But if you look.
Now, what David Schwartz said right there is key to a lot of different things. So if you're to the big banks, you don't want technology to push ahead. You want to continue to be making a lot of money, off of transaction fees and, slow transactions that are taking place. But it's the same thing is happening with anybody that's rich. They don't want to see us push into the digital age, and they don't want to see the financial system change, because they made a shit ton of money in this current financial system. And a lot of people are still making a lot of money in the current system. But a new financial system is coming. It is going to level the playing field. It's going to bring a lot more players onto the field by banking the unbanked as well. But a lot of people don't like technology. It's the same thing inside of crypto. The Bitcoin maxis don't like technology moving ahead, because as technology continues to grow out and expand, it's leaving Bitcoin behind at the same time. And eventually we're going to see cryptocurrencies like XRP move to the #1 spot inside of crypto. But when David talks about massive liquidity pools, that's what we're going to see popping up all around the world. Global regulatory clarity is coming. Jurisdictions around the world are bringing stablecoins and digital assets into regulation. Parallels dawn between current crypto market and the dot-com bubble that enacted necessary regulations for safe, mature growth of a new industry. Same thing is going to happen with crypto. Once regulations are here, a lot of cryptocurrencies are going to disappear. Some big cryptocurrencies are going to become irrelevant as well. Like, I don't think Bitcoin's going to disappear. It's just going to become irrelevant because the price is not going to be where it's at today. Bitcoin is dumping while USDT is printing. Soon the price will catch up. We all know Tether props up Bitcoin. And I don't understand the idea of these Bitcoin maxis thinking that this is good going forward. Tether is creating value from nothing. It's the same way the US government prints new money. It's money backed by nothing. Same thing Tether is doing. And then they're propping up Bitcoin with it. So there's no real value holding up Bitcoin. It's all imaginary value. And it has to run on hype. But once the hype ends, it will come crashing down very fast. There's no utility or use case propping up Bitcoin. This comes from Edo Farina. The only logical choice for CBDCs and the digital euro is XRP. Environmental implication of a CBDC by the World Bank Group presents XRP as the most eco-friendly crypto asset and also references the G7 report titled Public Policy Principles for Retail Central Bank Digital Currencies, which outlines energy usage. Energy usage is going to become something very big over time. Wait until carbon credits get here. Once that happens, that will end Bitcoin mining. When you got to buy carbon offsets and carbon credits to Bitcoin mine, that will be the end of Bitcoin mining. And that's why Bitcoin really doesn't have a future. Everything that's advancing right now leads to the end of Bitcoin. Kaboom! Tokenization on the XRP ledger is just around the corner. Prepare for trillions of dollars to surge into XRP. Take a listen to David on tokenization.
I'm hoping that we're going to see, as real-world asset tokenization projects grow, I think the XRP Ledger is going to be a really good platform for them to launch on, particularly because of the low fees and because of the integration with the DEX, with the proximity to sort of the movement of funds. The ability, if someone's going to buy, what do you want to do with a real-world tokenized asset? You want to buy it, you want to sell it, you want to hold it, you want to transfer it. And if you want to buy it and sell it, you want to be able to do that with whatever asset is convenient for you. You don't want to tie. If you tokenize some sort of debt, like, you don't want to tie it to US dollars, because then that limits access to it to people who have sort of proximity to US dollars. One of the things the XRP Ledger is good for is giving you sort of proximity to many different assets, and that exchange is seamlessly built in. So I think that's one of the many reasons why the XRP Ledger is going to be a good place to launch tokenized real world assets. I think we'll see that.
Take notice how good the XRP Ledger is for real-world asset tokenization. And take notice, he said, you don't want it tied to just the US dollar. You want to open it up to move value anywhere in the world. And that's why we're going to see a lot of tokenization happening on the XRP ledger. Did you know with one Ripple wallet, enterprise can source anything that can be tokenized, fiat, crypto, deeds, stocks, and now carbon credits, all in one place. It's what crypto has talked about forever in a regulated, secure, and reliable interface for popular use. So enterprise only needs one wallet for all of their assets. And that's going to also be game changing as we move ahead. Now, that post was all the way back in 2022. Look at where we are now. Once regulations are put in place, Archax is going to be moving trillions of dollars in real world assets onto the XRP ledger. The price of XRP will change so quick. Anybody not invested in it is left behind. That's it. They're just done. They're never going to get back into XRP. And if they're buying XRP, they'll be buying pieces of an XRP. But people don't think that's ever going to happen because there's 100 billion XRP. But wait until scarcity shows up. Kamala is going to drive gold to $10,000. So they're saying if Kamala becomes the president, it's going to surge the price of gold because of inflation. And, you know, everybody, like in here, people would say, well, that's Bitcoin. Bitcoin is going to hedge against inflation. Listen, most people realize that gold is a better hedge. And that's why a lot of people turn to gold instead of Bitcoin. I even seen people that said they sold their Bitcoin and bought gold and silver recently on X. And that's kind of, you know, the point. It's like, okay, you have Bitcoin. Do you really see a future in it as everything pushes into the digital age? Or would you rather have physical gold and silver, which I think is going to continue to skyrocket over the coming years? And even if Trump becomes president, I still don't see the price of gold going down anytime soon. It's not like inflation's just going to go away overnight. Breaking, Warren Buffett sold another $850 million worth of Bank of America shares. The total is now $6.5 billion. So it all started back in July when he started dumping. And people said, well, why didn't he just sell it all at once? If he sold it all at once, it would cause panic. And I think Warren knows that there's problems with the banks, and he wants to make sure he's the first one out the door. Same thing is going to happen once the Tether bubble pops. You're going to see the smart money running from Bitcoin, and a lot of that money is going to pour into utility-driven cryptocurrencies like XRP, XLM, XDC, and so on. And that's if the money's smart. Any retail investor that's fully brainwashed by Michael Saylor, they're going to be the exit liquidity for Michael Saylor and BlackRock. And that's why I try to wake people up to what's really going on with Bitcoin. There's too much hype around it now. It's like they want to get every single dollar that they can into it. Like something big is about to happen. But you know, we're in crypto, and I still think Bitcoin is going to have one more fantastic run up. But anybody that's a retail investor, that should be their chance to get out. And I would definitely run from it. There's too much facts around it now with Tether. There's too much push towards regulations as well. You know, cross-border payments do not work unless every single country has similar regulations. And they're all going to be very similar to MiCA. So that gives you a good look into the future. What's going to pass MiCA and what doesn't. Because whatever passes MiCA is going to be here in the future. Whatever doesn't is going to be either irrelevant or it's just going to be gone. But you know, as XRP holders, I'm telling you, we are going to get very rich over the coming months because a lot of big things are about to happen. You got Basel III, you got ISO, you got Ripple possibly doing an IPO. plus the case finally being done and over with, no chance of the SEC appealing. Once that news breaks, I expect XRP to pump from there. That could be when we start to get the big announcements from some big institutions as well. But until it all happens, you gotta stay patient, stay positive, and let's get rich together. With that said, I'm gonna wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.